Dude, I have noticed this about you, actually, that you don't have maybe any short scale basses. Is that true?
Yes, because they suck.
That is,
They are.
Well,
it's
that is
because they are only for small people.
Come on.
But anybody that thinks otherwise,
Like people with diminutive frames?
small.
Like
just
literally.
small. And anybody that's big who plays a short scale, loser.
Oh my God. Just firing it off, dude. Just, I mean, I have to say, because I'm a huge short scale fan, but I have to say that I've seen like some photos or like video of me. I took a Mustang out on the road, and I'm a big dude. You know me, Scott Devine. I'm a tall drink of water.
Yeah.
And I took a look at that footage and I wanted to die because I looked like fat guy with a tiny bass.
They do look stupid. Well, I don't know. Like,
Dude, not all. Okay, listen. Not all short scales look stupid on every person, right?
yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Can you give me that?
Yeah. In all honesty, like okay. Let me back up. In this video, we are going to be talking about the pros.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about the cons.
Okay, yes.
Which there are many. In my experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay,
and
got it.
We're
Great.
also going to share with you the top 5.5 short scale bass players that you should check out. We've got examples of them playing, and we're also going to share the top 5.5 short scale basses for you to try as well.
Yes.
And there's probably some other stuff that I can't remember, but that's the sort of like general outline of this conversation. But just in case anybody's not sure about what a short scale is, Ian, can you let the people know, the people out there on the interwebs, what is a short scale bass?
Right. Leo Fender 51 made the bass 34 inches. Scale length. So scale, short scale, medium scale, long scale. You hear that word a lot. What that literally is the measurement from bridge termination to nut termination. So where the string crosses over the nut here by the headstock and the bridge, right? So none of the length after the bridge or after the nut to the headstock matters in terms of scale length. 34 is the standard. 30 inches is short. And then there's in between. People have done 32, which is typically classified as like medium scale, right? And it's, 30.5? Sure. Still short scale. 31? I don't know if anyone makes a 31.
Yeah, like
sure.
I've got a short scale Manet, the 6 string. I'm not sure what that is. Like maybe it's a 30. I don't see it as a short. When I think short scale, I immediately think Mustang. Or like that,
yes,
like exactly 30 inch or about there, vintagey looking, generally 4 string. We'll get into why there's a little bit of a quirk on that. Some 6 strings we'll get into later. But for me, it's like that kind of retro hipster bass. That's what I think of because I started. I had like 34, then I went to 33 inch scale. I've had a few 33-inch scales. I've got the Manet, but I don't class that really as a short scale bass.
Yeah, for sure. And there's manufacturers, of course, that are making short scale basses, with all kinds of strings. You can get a 6-string short scale. That's become kind of popular. I feel like Fodera is even doing some, but maybe they're not 30. They might not be 30.
Yeah,
not, So, and I agree with you. The classic vintage short scale vibe, something like this, right? Or like I have an old Musicmaster. Right? An old Fender Musicmaster, 71 or 2 here, right? And when I think of short scale, I think of something like this.
And the Musicmaster, tell me if I'm wrong, it's a is it like a Strat pickup or something like that?
It is literally a 6-pole piece Strat pickup.
It's a Strat pickup.
It is literally a Strat pickup.
Has it got like those cranky little machine heads on it as well, right?
It's just screws that will adjust the up and down.
No, the machine heads at the top. What do you guys call them?
Oh, these.
Something. The tube.
Oh, yeah. Got it. These were on the first year or two, and I feel like they called them fishtails. I don't know if Fender
Yeah,
called them
that's
that, but
it, yeah.
you know, like the fishtail tuners. Yeah, and you know, great color. But right, it was made as you said so eloquently in the top. It was made for like students, maybe kids.
Oh, really? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Or
you mean small people?
yeah. Or guitar players that wanted to pick up a few extra bucks, dude, on the gig. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh,
guitar players that couldn't handle the full awesomeness, the full depth of what some might call a real bass.
okay, all right, yes. I mean, you could put it that way, absolutely. And so, you know, people would reach for these because they were a little easier to play. Right, but that's a great example.
I know we're not going to jump into that the bass. We're going to share sort of like what the top 5.5 basses are. But just while you've got that bass, what's the real difference between that and a Mustang? Is it is it the pickup?
So glad.
Is it the pickup and the machine heads? Is that or the tube? What do you guys call the machine heads?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what I was thinking. But so here we go. We've got first year of production Fender short scales right here. The Mustang in red, Dakota red, and then here's the Musicmaster in Daphne blue. And the main difference you'll see is the bridge is different. See that? So individual saddles on the Mustang. You've got the kind of like 51 style, almost just two saddles on this. The pickup is different. This is sort of like a mini P bass where they just literally slapped a Strat pickup into this bass. And then the neck carve is different. This one feels a little more considered, like a little more time and love and attention and care went in. But yeah, and then if you look at headstocks, similar shape. Maybe not exactly the same, or maybe the same.
And did the Mustang come after? Was that the second bass?
No, the Mustang came before. So this is a 66 Mustang, and that was the first year of production, 1966. And then this Musicmaster was made after they were like, oh, the Mustang maybe is a little too expensive.
For most students, maybe a little bit. Maybe for advanced students, that'll...
Yeah, right. This was like, let's make a bass. This is post CB. Well, I guess they're both post CBS, but yeah, this came out, I believe, God, it's either 71 or 72.
Super quick break. Listen, if you're ready to go from watching your bass heroes to playing like them, then you should absolutely check out the SBL Academy. And that's because the SBL Academy is so much more than this YouTube channel that you're enjoying right now. It covers all levels and styles and is loved by over 30,000 bass players around the world. You get more than 200 step-by-step courses taught by the best instructors like John Patitucci, Michael League, Ian Allison, myself, and many more. Simply put, you're going to learn how to play the bass like a pro from the pros themselves. And that's not all. You'll also get our groundbreaking step-by-step development programs like Player's Path and Learning Pathways. Just imagine how your bass playing is going to improve once you're inside the SBL Academy. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore. Simply visit trysbl.com to claim your 14-day free trial today. Okay, let's get back to the video.
I feel like I'm just going to have to apologize so much at the end of this video.
I love it. Dude, I
just
love
can't
it.
let it go. I'm sorry. I don't mean this shit.
You're the bad cop, man. You're bad cop.
I am. Okay, so we've defined what a short scale bass is.
We certainly have.
We're going to jump into our top 5. The top 5.5 short scale bass players, people who predominantly played them throughout their entire career. Like they played other basses as well, but they were kind of known for playing short scale basses. We wanted to showcase these individuals because we thought, in case you haven't heard, you've probably heard short scale basses before, but you might not have known it was a short scale bass. These are some great players, and I'm not sure whether they're that small either. They might be normal sized humans. But so, you know, I'll keep my opinions to myself here. But but we're going to kick it off.
Don't keep them to yourself. Oh, jeez. Hold on, dude. Let's not get the video pulled by YouTube. Just don't even play it.
I've got a plan. Okay.
Okay.
I've got a plan. So here is Paul McCartney, Get Back, Beatles rooftop concert, iconic. Check it out. Woo. And that's all you can have because the other ones we will share more. But for whatever reason, every time we share a Beatles video in one of our videos, it just gets pulled. So that's
Yes.
all. Maybe there was even just a black screen on the last, maybe we didn't play anything. Hopefully we did. If we didn't, it's because it got pulled and we had to delete it. But anyway, Ian, talk us through what is he using here?
Look at that. Beautiful. I mean, just this band, this rooftop concert, if you haven't seen the documentary, the full on documentary where, they're getting ready to do the rooftop concert, you have to see it. First of all, they sound so good. They're such a good band. I guess it's like, duh.
Well.
Mac is just smiling. Man. Yeah, they're having a good
Bass.
time. Yeah, they just wrote Get Back, I mean, it's just wild. But yeah, so he's playing a Hofner violin bass. That's not the actual model name is the 500/1 or the 501. And that has become known as the Beatle bass, right? Mm-hmm. And he's playing it left-handed, of course, so it's a left-handed model. He doesn't string upside down like some lefties. But Scott, can you zoom in on that screenshot here? Can we see the
I can't zoom in.
Oh, you can't. That's okay.
Zoom in.
There's a sticker. He's got a sticker right there that says bassman or bassman. And maybe someone in the comments, sticker right there says bassman or bassman. Depending on, maybe it was a sticker that came with their amplifier. See all those shiny that big stack behind him there?
Oh, yeah, this thing here. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Mid-late 60s, Fender gives the Beatles a bunch of shiny, beautiful new gear. And I have to imagine that was a sticker that came. Yeah. This could just be absolute crap. I could just be making this up, but I think it might be right. He gets the sticker out of the pack and they're like, oh, you're the bass man, Paul. And he's like, haha. And he puts it on his bass. And I mean, iconic, absolutely iconic.
Bonkers,
that bass.
Right? And is that the one they've just found?
I don't know. In the comments, if there's a saga to all the different basses that Paul has had, and there was one that went missing a long time and it just returned. I don't know if it's that one. I also don't know if that's the one that he has a set list on. There's a fabled Hofner bass that he has a set list, like a Beatles set list taped to the horn.
Yeah.
I mean, holy moly.
Yeah.
Playing with a pick. I think he's got black strings on it.
Have you played one of these?
Yeah, well, yes, and I have a 60s club. I mean, and I could just show it to you quick. I have this bass here, which is not the same shape, but it's the same era.
Is it the same sound? Are people going to get the same sound?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I feel like small-bodied Hofners, even the inexpensive ones, with the right strings, with old flat-wound strings, nylon tapes like Paul has here, sound like that. And it's just the sound of Beatles bass. It's so awesome. I know he used other basses, Rickenbacker jazz bass. They even used a Bass VI sometimes,
Wall as well.
That's right. Well, that's right. In Wings. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, the iconic Beatle bass, there he is, Paul McCartney. You got to hear 4 seconds of him playing it.
I've also got a friend of mine, great bass player, Stefan. And he plays one of these and he swears he said that he's played it on so many gigs and been approached by people afterwards and have said the bass sounds incredible. It just sounds incredible. And I think that, we'll get into why that is and one of the, what the pros are of short scale basses.
Yeah. And make sure to be watching to the end of the video because I will plug these in and play them for you. We're going to talk about the 5.5 basses that you need to play short scale. I'll plug them in. I'll play them for you. So never fear. That's coming. You gotta watch to the end. You see what we're doing here? How does the internet work?
Exactly. Bizarre, isn't it? Okay. So next up, we've got Cream 1968. When was this? When was the rooftop concert?
Rooftop concert.
Was that 60? Alan, fact checking Alan. When was the rooftop concert? Alan's on it. In the
they're going to be some Beatles aficionados
the
that are screaming. I'm going to say 66. That's my guess, but I don't know that that's true. Oh no, I don't think that's right. I feel stupid for saying it. It's all good.
He's typing fast. He means business.
Yeah.
He's using Alan, more than two fingers concert here when he's typing. 1969. We wanted to share these in date order. We screwed up already. Never mind. Okay, so next up is Cream, obviously. Jack Bruce on bass. one of my all-time favorite bassists.
Oh, you couldn't even say you couldn't even say that without snickering. That's outrageous, dude.
I just think let me say it so it's being said. Okay.
Oh, great.
I'm not convinced about Jack Bruce's bass player. There's lots of great bass players out there that just absolutely adore Jack Bruce, and I am yet to be convinced.
I don't even have anything for you. I mean, one of the most iconic power trios in rock and roll. He's the singer. I mean, you know, we're not gonna give him some love. Also playing fretless sometimes, not on this, but in a rock band. Huh? You like his fretless playing?
Hey, I'm not saying he wasn't cool. I'm not saying he wasn't like rock and roll. I'm not saying. I just. You know, like everybody's been in this situation, so don't shoot me down for it. At least I'm just saying out loud and I'm being honest, right? Shoot him down everybody watching this video right now has been in this situation where like a bunch of people have said something like, this thing's awesome, it's like the best. Yes. And then you do it, you try it, you taste it, you watch it, you listen to it, whatever it is, right? And you're like, I'm not seeing that, I'm not hearing it, and for me, that's Jack Bruce. Like, but I've had this with other people. I've had this, so maybe I'm wrong. I've had this with, for instance, back in the day. I can remember when I was like shredding the fusion bass when I was like a youngster, and hearing like James Jamerson. I was like,
and be like,
what
this
on
guy
earth is everybody talking about? This guy's boom, 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 boom. You know, I want to sort of like shred anyway. And I've it's come full circle. I absolutely adore James Jamerson's bass playing and lines, and I think he's an absolute freak show in all of the greatest ways. You know, we wouldn't play bass like we do today if it wasn't for James Jamerson. But that hasn't happened with Jack Bruce for me. Maybe it will in the future, but right now I'm on this. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Two things. While everybody's destroying me down there. Two things. Okay. Number one, am I just not getting it? Like, is Jack Bruce actually incredible? First of all, so number one. Number two, or are you are you in my camp at the minute? Number two is there anybody, here's the more interesting question.
Yeah.
Is there other bass players that you hear people going nuts about, that when you listen to them, you're like,
you don't,
I don't get it. I
Emperor's
just don't
New Clothes.
Hear it. Yeah. So I'll give you a great example. I've heard lots of people say that about Jaco Pastorius. So maybe it's maybe it's a taste thing. I don't know. Like, it would be interesting to have that conversation in the comments. So while everybody's sort of like, you know, beating me up down there, also, it'd be great if you answered those two questions as well. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, Cream, Sunshine of Your Love, great track, actually. And here we go. Check it out.
Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Come on,
rocking
dude,
the hat as well. Look at
the hat alone. The hat alone. I'm into it.
Like
those
great
big stacks.
Great band.
Gibson EBO, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you're bobbing your head, dude. You're kind of into it.
Dude, I love the track. I love the band.
Bam. Got it.
Yeah, dude, I used to listen to this all the time with my dad. We used to watch Cream, sit there and watch it. Like I love the band. I'm just, I don't know, like there's something, and it's not
when Jack Bruce gets put onto a pedestal.
It's that
you're like, come on, give me a break.
It's that.
Yeah.
And come on, like everybody be truthful. It happens to other people as well. You know, there's other people out there where people are like, oh my god, they're amazing. And I'm like,
of course.
Dudes,
I just think that you could take your. You're like, come on. I think you could take the Rick Rubin guru approach right now and say, I don't like Jack Bruce yet.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And
Or you never have to like him. It's fine.
It's not that I don't like him. It's not that I don't like him. It's that there's, for instance, I'll give you, it's Jeff Berlin's favorite bass player is Jack Bruce.
Right.
He loves him. But for
I
me,
know.
I listen and I'm like, I just don't hear it yet. Yeah. See what I did? Yeah. We'll see.
There it is.
Okay. Next up.
Oh, my goodness.
This is an awesome one. We've already seen one of... Oh, actually, hang on. We need to just sort of like cover something quickly. What bass was Jack Bruce playing there, Ian?
Right. So in the beginning, he's playing Gibson short scale bass. I believe that's an EBO. But man, my EB knowledge is actually like a little bit shoddy. I think that's an EBO because the EB2 was the hollow body one.
Which was the EB3 though? There was the EB3
maybe that's a
as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Was the EB3.
Well, okay. So the EBO is that sort of SG shape, right?
Yeah.
It is that. But the EB3, let's look, is also that. I actually don't know what distinguishes an EBO from an EB3. Yeah, but I'm finding a 68 EB3 online right here that looks just like the one Jack Bruce played. So, and I'm even seeing EB3 in Wikipedia right now that said that's Jack Bruce's bass. So there you go, Gibson EB3.
Oh, EB3.
Distinguish.
Okay. Cool.
What makes an EBO different from an EB3?
Who knows? Guys in the comments, let us know, please. That would be amazing. So we've had the Beatles. We've had a brief Beatles. We've had Cream. Next up is JMJ. Justin Meldal-Johnsen.
Yes. And I think, dude, I don't know about you, but I think that JMJ is maybe responsible, like largely responsible for the short scale resurgence, because short scales were not cool in the zeitgeist for a long time, like in the 90s, kinda. Am I right? Or in the 80s, especially? I feel like not many people were playing, like it wasn't retro cool to play a Mustang. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Tina Weymouth was playing one with the Talking Heads. I don't know if
it was JMJ though. Was it not like, when are we talking? Like 2000? Was it not? Did Tim LaFave not have sort of like a big sort of like short scale bass thing?
I feel like Tim was playing P basses though, you know?
Oh, actually, you're right. No, I'm spreading vicious rumors.
To me, like JMJ was the reason I wanted to check out a Guild Starfire. He was also the reason I wanted to check out a Mustang. He was the reason, I'll just say it for me. Maybe short scales have always been cool, right? But you know what I'm talking about. There was a thing that kind of happened in the 2000s where now there's a bunch of companies that are making more short scales and they kind of like became cooler.
They had like a thing, didn't they?
Yes. I feel like it's sort of evened out, but JMJ for me anyway was totally responsible for that. And I believe in this. He's playing with St. Vincent. This is amazing. He's playing his signature. He has a signature Fender Mustang bass in Daphne Blue. It's modeled after, like a real old, a vintage one that he has, and he just sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah, it sounds nice
on a short scale bass.
Great tone on this. Great tone. Let's check it out. She's great as well.
Oh.
Sign autographs in the visitation room, waiting for you the last time inmate 502.
This is a really great representation of a short scale bass tone. Actually, it's very P-bassy, but it's like more plummy. It's plummy.
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 Yeah. Okay. It has more plum.
Is that a
flavor?
Word?
It is now.
You still got it in your government green suit. I look down and out in my fine Italian shoes. We're tight as a Bible with the pages look like glue. Well, you did some time, well, I did some time too.
Dude, look.
Ooh, the
my God.
lunge.
It's got that deep
Sorry,
lunge right now.
just like caught me. He caught me by surprise there.
Look at that deep lunge.
I'm leaving it on the lunge.
I love it. I mean,
There
I
we
have to
go.
say, I know.
There we go. I've left it on the lunge.
Leave it on the lunge.
I've left it
Needs
on
to
the
be
lunge.
a shirt, or a hat or something. Right? We gotta market that merch. Always thinking merch ideas.
Hey, what I'd love to know, by the way, just before we go on, when we,
Yeah.
know, just skipping back to that part of the conversation where we were talking about where, like this sort of like short scale basses were having a thing, and I think that you're right. I
Yes.
think that it has evened out. But for you, it was JMJ.
Yes.
Who was it for everybody else? Please let us know in the comments. We would love to know. Who was it for you? Did Pino go down this route at some point?
No,
No?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe
He is a very
there's-
big man. I imagine he put that thing on. He just like laughed at himself. He was like, "There's no way I can put this thing on in public."
Yeah, right. I mean, that's a thing. I mean, that's just probably body dysmorphia. That's probably just me needing to go to therapy. But that is what I think, man. When I put on a short scale bass, I'm like, oh, this will never do. This cannot fly.
This cannot fly.
Yeah. But hey, I'm breaking the rules because I want to just mention, I want to just jump and say that's the sound of that bass, as you pointed out in that mix, is why short scales are amazing. They occupy a different space. They're not pokey. They don't have all this piano clarity, but they hang out in their own zone. They let cymbals and guitars do that thing. They occupy this like low mid-range space that like pokes out, but in a bassy way instead of like a clangy, way. And now you're gonna prove me wrong with this next clip. Because this
Here we go. Mike Kerr, Royal Blood.
hey,
This is the entire band for anybody that doesn't know. It's just bass and drums.
oh, when he goes double time with this, coming up. Oh, dude.
And he's splitting that, right? So he's got like this guitar top end, distortion and stuff. He's also got the big fat bass underneath.
Yes.
And you can hear it there. Yeah.
Oh man. That's great.
Sorry, just wanted to do the pause there. As they pause, I just wanted to give it a
just-
little.
I mean, yeah. So that's
what
so
bass
fun
is
to
he
see the
playing?
contrast. So that's a Gretsch, I believe, and now he has a signature with Fender. But here's a great example of the opposite thing of JMJ. Like JMJ with St. Vincent, it was sitting in the mix in that classic short scale way, plummy, right? And then, but you can also play them like a guitar. I mean, I feel like Mike Kerr really is like just using this instrument like a 4-string guitar. And it's awesome. He's got it split, as Scott was saying. So high end is running through fuzz and distortion through guitar rigs. Low end sometimes is running octave pedals or just running
He's got a
bass.
pog on, hasn't he?
Yeah,
So
right.
The pog makes the guitar sound like the bass sound like a guitar, then that goes through distortions, so it sounds like a guitar, but then he's also got this whole low end happening as well, so it sounds like a guitar and bass in one. Huh? Who knew? Mike Kerr, you
Just
rock.
So awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you who else rocks. Smooth segue. Rob Mullarkey rocks.
Oh, he sure does.
Rob Mullarkey, just outrageous bass player from London, and I'll let his playing do all of the talking. He's playing a Wilcock.
That's right.
Is that right? Wilcock, yeah? Wilcock.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, check this out.
You were in the 8th grade. You are in the 8th grade. Oh, God.
Come on.
Come on.
That was Rob telling you about his hands. Cheers, Rob.
And
And
hang
he's
on a
playing
minute.
and he's playing a small
Because-
bass.
Yeah, maybe Rob is just more like secure in himself as a human than I am, because Rob is not a small dude. Rob does
Not
have
that,
big
mate.
hands.
He just
He's
hasn't
tall.
looked in the mirror, mate. That's it.
Oh, dude.
I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry. I don't mean it. I just can't help it.
Oh, just the saucy
Anyway.
British humor, dude. Just so dry, so funny. Okay.
You've got one of these basses, right?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I do. I have it right here.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
It's so cool. And there's a great fun fact about the Mullarkey, where when they were talking about what to name this bass, Rob said that he wanted to name it the Mullarkey, the Wilcock Mullarkey, because his wife didn't want to take his last name. And so he needed to have something to pass on, right? To take
Amazing. Yeah.
the bloodline became the bass. Real quick, right? Kind of like mid-position pickup, almost like Rickenbacker or P-bass, and then a slammed right up to the fingerboard neck pickup. Nice and warm. Might show you this one later.
Yeah. And so just to sort of like wrap this bit up. So we've had a little bit of Paul McCartney. We've had more of Jack Bruce. We had JMJ, Justin Meldal-Johnsen. We had Mike Kerr, and we've had Rob Mullarkey. But we need a 0.5.
We sure do.
And this one is all down to Mr. Allison here. He can't let this one out without getting a bit of Glen Campbell in here. Yes. Check this out. Not a short scale bass, kind of, but it is a bass 6.
It's a bass 6. We'll talk about it. Come on.
I am a lineman for the county, and I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another.
Are you
good.
kidding me? This
so
is like
good.
Glen Campbell to me. Like, I don't say crap like this, but if I ever said stuff like "that's a real man,"
Oh,
you know
he's
what I'm saying?
Glen
Like, if I
Campbell
ever
like a real
yeah, dude, yes. I mean, look at that. Oh, look at the outfit. I love the like olive and yellow, and then he's got a Fiesta red bass 6 with labella flats. He's playing a solo in like low register. He's playing along to a track on this TV show, and on the record, yes, he played like a baritone, a Dan Electro, but I'm putting it in because he played a bass 6 on this recording.
Whoa. Right, when
so
you say
defensive.
real man, in my mind, I picture a dude in Wellington boots and a barber jacket, like a farmer. And when I'm looking at
all
this
right.
screen, I see a yellow turtleneck and a blazer and a serious, like, and a kind of comb me over thing going on. I'm not sure that Glen Campbell's a real man. Like, you know, he needs a barber jacket, dude.
He is, and you take that back, Mr. Divine. I don't know, man. Like, maybe it's just that I'm super attracted to him. He's so damn handsome.
He's a handsome
like,
looking. He's a handsome looking dude.
Maybe let me just say this: he's a real fancy man. How about that?
He's a fancy man. Okay, moving on to the next segment. We're going to get into the pros and the cons. What do you want to? Let's start with the pros. Give me some pros, Mr. Allison.
The pros, the biggest pro that you will find when you play a short scale bass is that thing you heard from Justin Meldal-Johnsen. All of the notes across the entire fingerboard sort of sound the same. Yeah. It's like the same amount of bass content on the D string, on the G string, than you get on the A string and E string. So unlike a multi-scale thing like a Dingwall, where you've got these huge piano bombs, B string, E string, bang, and then you have kind of maybe a thinner top end, short scale basses kind of sound like this.
Are you feeling a little bit bad that you said Dingwall there?
What do you mean? Why?
There's other basses I just felt bad for Dingwall. I was like,
no. I'm saying contrasting. Dingwalls are incredible for what they go for, but they go for piano.
It's like Ken Smith's. It's like
yes,
like basically like all like modernish basses, isn't it? They don't read. I think that your point is they don't read as a bass instrument over the entire board.
They don't.
Kind of like when you're playing up, even a P bass. Like when you're playing up there, it sounds a bit like a guitar, right? But on short scale basses, they kind of sound like a bass everywhere.
Yeah, they do. And it's amazing. I just use Dingwall to contrast because that's a long scale, right? Like 37-inch scale on the B string.
I just thought of Sheldon going like,
being all upset. Well, they're going for something different, right? They're purposefully. Sheldon could make a short scale, but that's not what they're going for, right? And so,
how short
like
do they
Scott
go?
Says,
How short do Dingwalls go?
I think on the 4 strings they might go below 34 to 32, like on the G string.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do anything that's short.
Isn't it weird? Because even on the G string of a Dingwall, right, it doesn't sound like a short scale. Huh?
No,
weird.
It does not.
Yeah, weird.
It totally doesn't. And here's what I'm talking about, right? Like if I play a G on this short scale here, and then I play this G, and then I play this G, and then I play this G, they all have like a similar kind of response.
Yeah.
But this G is kind of tubby, but so is this one. So is this one.
Tubby.
So is
That's
this one.
Tubby.
Yeah.
Plummy. Same word.
Plummy, tubby. Yeah.
It's interesting that what you're talking about right now, and I imagine that you've experienced this a lot when playing that bass. Like when we play it on a video like this, kind of, they do sound the same, them notes. But when you play them in a band, that's when it really, it's like, oh. It like really jumps out as
it really does.
Yeah. Different response from them.
And you can take a pick and play something on the D string. And that sound absolutely just pierces the mix, but not in like a clangy rock and rolly way. It's amazing. Yeah. So I that's the biggest pro. Yeah. What else you got?
Do you want to know one more?
Yeah.
They're great for small people.
You're such a dick.
I'm not laughing. Like they actually are great for small people.
Okay, you're right.
Like kids that are learning, and I know this because like Winter wanted to learn bass, my girl, and we went to the bass store. We were looking at the short scales, so they are actually good for small people.
Yes.
And I think that's a pro. So in all seriousness, if anybody, so I'm just thinking about the poor parent online shopping right now. Somebody recommend, hey, you should get a short scale bass. You should get a short scale bass. And they unfortunately came across this video. JM's lunging in it. We're talking dirt about Jack Bruce. Like I'm sorry if you got to this point in the video. In all seriousness, they are great for kids that are trying to learn because
for sure
basses are just awful for kids because they're just so
they're
big
huge.
and they're just huge. Yeah, so these are great for small people. They're travel friendly.
They are. Yeah,
So-
they fit in a guitar gig bag typically, which is cool. Easier maybe to get in an overhead compartment on a plane.
That's it, isn't it? Like for cars and stuff like me, but like when you're flying, incredible. Like short scale basses. Just like who knew that like a few inches difference can make a difference? Who, you know what I'm trying to say?
I do.
And then finally, they look kind of cool and retro. They do like on the right person, I retract that. They do look kind of retro and cool. I like it.
Totally.
I dig them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
like
classic
that bass
retro
you're playing
aesthetic.
There,
Yes.
There's no person alive that cannot say that does not look cool.
Yeah, this is a Voron Saku bass made by Saku Viore. I love this instrument. I play it a ton. And it's leaning into that sort of like retro, cool, vintage aesthetic short scale bass. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to read the cons. Shall I read them? Ian and I met about this. We met about this video yesterday for like 20 minutes. We went, we met about it for hours. We did in-depth planning. In-depth planning, yeah.
There was some planning. Come on.
And we came up with these cons. The first one, and some might say they're cons, some might say not. Okay, but the first one we wrote down is, I think this was me. They feel crap. But let me give more context, right? And then I put like ... like a toy. Okay, so
Right.
for me, I'm not sure if it's my big gangly fingers or whatever, right? Or maybe I'm just not used to them. When I play a short scale bass, they just feel too small. It feels
right.
And I don't mean sort of like from a visual perspective, like how it looks. I mean like it feels weird. And maybe I just need to. But there is like a learning curve, I think, to go from a big.
No, you're totally right, because the fret spacing, the space between the frets is smaller to accommodate the smaller scale.
It just feels weird to me.
And it almost feels like your fingers kind of get bunched up, right, as you go up the instrument.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of big-handed people that play violin, Scott. So you've got no excuse.
Yeah.
Zero.
But
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
So number 2 is just in terms of what we were talking about, that plummy, that what terminology did you use?
Tubby,
yeah, that tubby sound. That can be a real great pro, but it can also be a con, in that you cannot get that like piano-like clarity that you do on a longer scale instrument. So if you're listening to, I think that Dingwall or whatever, but if you're like Ken Smith, that sort of like big active bass sound,
MTD.
You're not really going to get that on a short scale bass.
Right, because the E string sounds like this. Sounds like bass, but it does not sound like a piano. Right.
Yeah. And that kind of goes on to my third point that I've written down here, is that there's no modern active short scales, like modern active sounding short scales. They all seem to be in this kind of, Ian's pulling a phase like maybe there is, but
there
like
has to be.
Yeah, like maybe there is, but I haven't seen any. And I guess sort of like, just to go back to what we were talking about earlier, we were saying that it has to be like a 30-inch scale bass or less, right? So it can't be 31, 32, because I'm not sure.
Yeah,
that
then it kind of gets into medium scale territory, right?
Medium scale, yeah. So I don't know if there's any like modern active. So if you wanted so when would you want that? So for instance, if you were a kid or something like that wanted sort of like an incredibly cool active sounding bass, but you're small, right? Because you're a kid, then I don't think there are any short scale basses in that,
I will say this. I was thinking, God, what? And I've played one, and I'm like, what is it? And yes, Spectre does make one. Spectre makes a short scale. They make a 5, but the 5's 32. But they make I think, I might be wrong. It's called a Bantam. But they're shorter scale. But they might not be true short. They might not be 30.
Like bantamweight in boxing.
Probably.
Yeah. Bantamweight, yeah.
And if you know of one, we might be totally wrong. You might say, I just ordered a 30-inch scale Fodera. You guys are out of your mind. Maybe that's true. Maybe MTD does make a 30. I can't think of one, actually, like an actual 30-inch scale, short scale 4-string that leans into the like boutique, modern active thing, like you say. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let us know in the comments if you know of some that we don't. And then the final point that I wrote down is that they look stupid. But that's just because I was being a dick. They don't look stupid.
Oh, dude. I mean, I will say, though, I took out, like, I have that Mullarkey, right? That black Mullarkey. I took that out on a gig once. I was playing with Jeremy Messersmith. I always play a Starfire for his gig. And there was the violist that plays in the string section said, "Oh, new bass?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Is it a little smaller?" And guess what, dude? I never took it on a gig again. Because you can't have that. It's a wonderful bass. It sounds incredible, but it is relegated for my uses to the studio.
Man. I think you should lean into it. I think that you just need to use it more. If I had a Wilcock bass, I'd be using that thing. I think they sound really great. They
really do. I'll bring it over to you.
To wrap it up.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, in case anybody is still here with us after all of these shenanigans and insults that we've been throwing out, with love, I will add, with love. Of course. We've got the top 5.5 short scale basses.
Let's
that
go.
Everybody should try.
Let's go. I think I have them right here. Number 1, hit me. I'll pull it up.
Hofner, hit me.
Hofner, right here. This is a
Yeah.
67 club. Let me just play it for you a little bit because I said I would. Clubs sound amazing.
Yeah.
And they're so hot. The output is just crazy. Let's see. Get it right. Right? I mean, you know, thinking this
Sounds
Beatles
great,
thing.
dude.
Right? So that is such an iconic sound. Yeah, right? And they have... Yeah, man.
Love it.
And they
Love
have
it.
like no sustain, right? So you play this
Yeah.
like G flat, dies. So that's why... That's why McCartney had to just keep articulating notes because one of the, you play a note and it's over.
Yeah, dude.
crazy.
Like, just a quick shout out to Gustav Broman as well. Like Gustav,
Oh my God.
is just this like freak show of a bass player in all of the greatest ways. Who plays a Hofner exclusively, and he just gets that thing to sound like a freaking upright. In fact, I've been watching videos of him recently, and he's bowing that thing. He's
Yes, I know.
and it sounds incredible.
It sounds incredible.
Oh, Gustav
yeah.
Broman, yeah,
We
incredible.
love you, man. He is amazing. Yes.
Okay, so
Number
next up
2.
we've got the Fender Mustang.
Yeah, Mustang. Okay, so compared to the Hofner, the Mustang is a little more like solid body P bass vibes. We're gonna be a little quieter. I'm gonna turn it up. Right?
Very, very different, right? Yeah.
These flats are a little newer, but again, you still have that evenness, right? If I play a B here, a B on the A string, B on the D, like that
Yeah.
B is huge.
Is this what Nick Campbell plays? Is it one of these, or is it the other one?
Nick Campbell, I think that kind of famous one that he has, I think it's a Musicmaster that has
it's a Musicmaster.
that changed pickups. That
Got
like
it.
he's
Okay,
had
yeah, yeah.
pickups put in. It's like a hacked up Musicmaster, I think.
Yeah.
But just amazing. These sound so good. They sound like a short scale P bass, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
They will be great for kids as well. Do you know? Because
Agreed.
it's sort of like, yeah, it'd be a great kids bass. Okay, so next up is, I know you're going to like this one. Guild
Yeah.
Starfire.
Oh my God. The Guild Starfire is probably my favorite hollow body bass of all time. I have one that just has a single pickup, the neck pickup. It's just lovely. So, this bass too is actually very hot. So let me turn this down a bit. Just humongous.
That's my favorite sound so far.
Is it?
It's interesting listening to them back to back with you playing them. As we're going through these, please as well, everybody watching, let us know in the comments which is yours, which jumps out to you as sort of like something that really resonates with you in terms of sound and aesthetic, obviously. But for me, that sounds freaking awesome. Yeah,
It's the best. I mean, and every note on it, you're doing that kind of thing on it, right? Like, it's just like a little spring reverb, and this thing, right? I mean,
I am dying when you play a bass line that I want to sing along to. Maybe it's a good thing,
yeah.
because it saves everybody else. But when you play along, it kills me that we're like a few milliseconds out.
Yes,
It's like,
we can't time it. I know.
it kills
I
me.
know.
they
Every
flats
time
on
I've
that, yeah?
plugged this bass in, sorry.
Flats, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Old Tomastic Infeld flats. Every time I take this bass out on a gig, if I can find the spot in the room where the single coil doesn't hum, right? Or the room doesn't have bad like RF, every sound engineer is like, that bass.
Really?
Just that bass. Like, I love that bass. Yeah. I mean, obviously you can't play this in your metal band. You could, but right, like bringing this out for the right thing in like singer-songwriter thing, or if you're playing with a pick, short tubby. I played this with Jeremy Messersmith, and it just rules on records. It's amazing. This is my favorite. It's my favorite short scale
Hey,
hollow body ever.
Just let me put it out there as well.
Yeah.
No matter what size anybody is, they can play that bass. That's a cool looking bass. No matter what size you are.
It's huge too. It's a giant body.
Yeah.
And right, you've got all this body length here. Like the termination is here. So you've got a good, God, it's almost like a foot right past the bridge of extra body length. And then the headstock is big too. So when it sits in a rack, it's as tall, like it's as big as a standard bass.
Yeah.
It's just short scale this way. Right.
MAGA. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up. Ooh, interesting. I like this one. Nordstrand cat bass.
Yeah. Okay. And Carrie sent this over, and we wanted to include this because this is such a cool design. This was modeled after the Goya Panther that belonged to Juan Alderete, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Juan Alderete, right? When he was in Racer X, they called him John Aldretti. And which is just wild.
Oh, when he had the mullet.
yeah, man. I remember
I'm waiting for
John Aldretti on the bass guitar.
I'm waiting for the mullet to come back. Not just for Juan. I mean, like for us. I'm not saying that Juan should grow his mullet back. Let me just sort of be clear about that. But I'm just waiting for the mullet to come back. Nobody thought the beards were going to come back. They came back.
Oh, yeah, they did. I feel like the mullet is back, ironically, like people are like, oh, look, I have a stupid mullet, and they're cool. There's that Argentinian soccer player mullet vibe that I love. We could do the skullet,
Dude, that's what I mean. Yeah, for anybody in the UK, remember Terry Nutkins? Come on. Oh my! I think I've sent pictures of Terry Nutkins to you, Ian. But anyway, back to what we talked about, the Nordstrand cat bass, and these are pretty cheap-ish.
Yes. So this is a really interesting design. You've got all these buttons that do different filter things. So let me get the output right. Let me get the output right here.
They sound awesome as well.
They really do. And all these filter, like a dark filter option, really dark, mid scooped. I mean, it's really cool. The pickup buttons. There's bridge pickup. Here's neck pickup. They're really, really cool. And they look great. They're different finishes. And I think I could absolutely recommend this if you want something around the $1,000. They might be a little more, 11, 12. But, this is an unbelievable buy.
And Carrie's
I haven't used it a ton. Carrie's awesome. And it's just it was made so intentionally. It's called the Acinonyx. They modeled it after the Goya Panther, so they wanted another cat name that hadn't been taken. Acinonyx. No one can pronounce it, so everybody just calls it the cat bass. I'm even kind of loving the funky headstock.
I love it.
One up, three down. Yeah, man, I'm into it. It. Good on you, Carrie.
Next one up is number 5. Remember, we've got 5.5, but next one is the Wilcock that we had before with those two beautiful chrome humbuckers.
Yes. And the Wilcock is super low output, but that's actually a feature because then you get to turn up all your stuff and it sounds like...
These are kind of like boutique-y as well, just in case anybody's wondering. These are expensive, handmade,
look at that neck.
These are boutique instruments, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful,
not
roasted.
Crazy expensive actually, but they are a boutique make.
$3-4 grand, so it's not cheap, but this is one of the short scales that I feel sounds kind of like a hollow body. I feel like if your eyes were closed, and I said, check out this hollow body short scale, you wouldn't be like, oh, I don't think that's right.
You got flats
neck
on it.
Neck pickup's beautiful. Yeah, flats. Yep.
Beautiful. And then finally, the 0.5. Can anybody guess what it's going to be?
Yeah.
Can anybody guess?
I know what it's going to be. Oh, my God.
You grab it, dude. Grab it.
Yeah, I'll grab it. It's right here. It is a Fender Bass 6. And look, I know it looks like a Jaguar guitar, but if you've never played a Fender Bass 6, you absolutely owe it to yourself just so you can go... Right? I mean,
beautiful, man.
Just amazing. So yes, you can absolutely play guitar shapes with it. right? You can play chords with it.
Oh,
I mean, it's just an instant vibe machine. And so used in the 60s for tic-tac bass, like, right, where there'd be an upright playing and then the bass player, so there'd be upright bass playing and then there'd be someone on bass 6 playing maybe without all the spring reverb.
yeah.
Right? I mean, it's such a vibe, and the string spacing is tiny, so it's really tricky. I'm gonna.
It's more like a guitar, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attribute that clam to just being, horrible tight string spacing, but really it's just me. But man, you can do, you can turn the tone down, and it sounds like a bass, because I mean it is a bass. It's cool, but really where it shines is in its like stringiness, and putting on some kind of thing, Just such a cool sound.
Is it like a controversial? Is it
Yeah.
a long scale guitar, or is it a short scale
I mean,
bass?
it definitely feels like, I don't think
Do you know,
there
like,
are people that,
so for instance, do you know, like Mark from Snarky Puppy? He's
Yeah.
done like a load of stuff on like long scale guitars.
Yeah,
What's
yes.
the difference between like a long scale guitar and the bass?
and a short scale bass, it's an enharmonic instrument. It's like G sharp, or
yeah,
or
exactly
A flat.
that, yeah.
I had to look like G sharp, A flat,
G flat and F
right?
sharp.
Yeah,
Or like
a long scale guitar tuned an octave lower.
It's a C flat.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
C flat.
That's the vibe, right? It's like, you could call this a long scale guitar. You probably, I'm playing it with a pick. Yes, you can play it with your fingers, but typically it's like a pick instrument, and you're kind of like thinking about it like a baritone. At least I do, right? There are probably people that don't. And again, the Beatles played a bass 6. I feel like even Jack Bruce played a bass 6. Rick Danko from the band, The Cure played them, but they're kind of more like pick players.
Yeah.
So, you could call it a guitar. It's fine with me. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
0.5.
I like playing with the
0.5.
pick. 0.5.
Yeah, dudes, while we've got you, don't go anywhere. Before you go, please let us know. Like, obviously this video has been about short scale basses, right? But what else do you want us to cover? Let us know if you've got any ideas of cool episodes that you would like us to jump into, you would like us to make. We would absolutely love to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below. And also, while you're doing that, really, please consider subscribing to the channel. We have set this lofty goal for ourselves to try and get, I think it's something like 250,000 extra subscribers this year, which is like bonkers. But we're trying to do it. The whole team is rallied around it, and we'd love for you to get involved and help us hit that target. So if you would consider subscribing, that would be amazing. Hit that subscribe button down there and the like button. While as you're dishing out the love, you might as well,
why not?
You might as well throw us a like as well.
A little extra love, sure.
And we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
Take care, everybody.